Shalom, my brothers and sisters in Yahweh, our Elohim. It's time for our midweek Bible study. And tonight, we're going to be studying Shemoth, which is Exodus. We're going to be starting on chapter 19. We're going to do 19, 20, and 21. So go ahead and grab your Bibles, and we'll get started this evening. I hope you all are having a good week. Hope everything's going well for you, and we're halfway through it. So, alright then, if you got yourself something to drink and you got your Bibles, let's get started. Shemoth, which is Exodus, chapter 19. In the third new moon, after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mitzrayim, on this day they came to the wilderness of Sinai. For they set out from Rephidim, and had come to the wilderness of Sinai, and camped in the wilderness. So Israel camped there, before the mountain. And Moshe went up to Elohim, and Yahweh called to him from the mountain, saying, This is what you are to say to the house of Jacob, and declare to the children of Israel. You have seen what I did to the Mitzrayites, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. And now, if you diligently obey my voice, and shall guard my covenant, then you shall be my treasured possession above all the people, for all the earth is mine. Okay, that if is a big deal. If you choose, everything's a choice. If you choose to follow my covenant, I'll love you till the day forever. Okay? Alright, verse 6. And you shall be to me a reign of priests and a set-apart nation. Those are the words which you are to speak to the children of Israel. And Moshe came and called for the elders of the people, and set before them all these words which Yahweh commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that Yahweh has spoken, we shall do. So Moshe brought back the words of the people to Yahweh. So they're agreeing to the covenant. They've all of them agreed in unison. Verse 9, And Yahweh said to Moshe, See, I am coming to you in the thick cloud, so that the people hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever. And Moshe reported the words of the people to Yahweh. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Go to the people, and set them apart today and tomorrow, and they shall wash their garments. So purify the people, set them apart, make them holy unto Yahweh, and clean them up. Verse 11, And shall be prepared by the third day, for on the third day Yahweh shall come down upon Mount Sinai before the eyes of all the people. And you shall make a border for the people all around, saying, Take heed to yourselves that you do not go up to the mountain, or touch the border of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall certainly be put to death. Not a hand is to touch it, but he shall certainly be stoned or shot with an arrow. Whether man or beast, he shall not live. When the Yobel is a shofar. A shofar is a big, huge ram's horn that they blow through. It's otherwise known as a trumpet in the KJV, in the King James Version of the Bible. It's known as a trumpet, but it's called a shofar or a Yobel. Okay? When the Yobel sounds long, let them come near the mountain. And Moshe came down from the mountain to the people, and set the people apart, and they washed their garments. He purified them and sanctified them, because they're going to meet Elohim. And he said to the people, Be prepared by the third day. Do not come near a wife. So no hanky-panky with your wife, because we're getting ourselves all cleaned up and sanctified to meet the Elohim. So be pure. And it came to be on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain, and a voice of a shofar was very strong, and all the people who were in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. And Mount Sinai was in smoke, all of it, because Yahweh descended upon it in fire. And its smoke went up like the smoke of a furnace, and all the mountain trembled exceedingly. And when a voice of the shofar sounded long, and became very strong, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by voice. So, when Moshe spoke, Elohim answered him, and everybody heard it. Everybody that was standing there heard it. Verse 20, and Yahweh came down upon Mount Sinai, on the top of the mountain, and Yahweh called Moshe to the top of the mountain, and Moshe went up. And Yahweh said to Moshe, go down and warn the people, lest they break through unto Yahweh to see, and many of them fall. So he's warning them, don't come near or else you're going to die. Stay where you're at. Verse 22, and let the priests who come near Yahweh set themselves apart too, lest Yahweh break out against them. And Moshe said to Yahweh, the people are not able to come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, make a border around the mountain and set it apart. And Yahweh said to him, come, go down and then come up, you and Aaron with you. But do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to Yahweh, lest he break out against them. And Moshe went down to the people and spoke to them. That's chapter 19. So, everybody got themselves cleaned up and sanctified and ready to meet the Elohim. And Elohim spoke to Moshe right there in front of all the people. But he told them, don't anybody come near or else you're going to die. Except for, do not let the priests come up either. But he wanted Aaron to come up. So Aaron and Moshe are headed up the mountain. Chapter 20. And Elohim spoke all the words, saying, I am Yahweh, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery. You have no other mighty ones against my face. There are no other gods but me. Don't even think about it. Verse 4. You do not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness of that which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the water under the earth. You do not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. So if you're hating on Yahweh, your kids are going to suffer too for it. Verse 6, but showing loving commitment to thousands, to those who love me and guard my commands. You do not bring the name of Yahweh your Elohim to naught, for Yahweh does not leave the one unpunished who brings his name to naught. Remember the Sabbath day to set it apart. Remember, you got to keep the Sabbath holy. This is a commandment straight from the lips of Yahweh. Verse 9, 6 days you labor and shall do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of Yahweh your Elohim. You do not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates, those who sovereign amongst you, the Gentiles. Take note. You might even underline all this or highlight it, because this is really important stuff, guys. Okay, verse 11. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart. This is Yahweh's day. It's Yahweh's day of rest and our day to rest and to worship and study and praise Yah. Okay? Keep that all in mind. This is important stuff forever. Not just until Yeshua is born. Forever. Verse 12, respect your father and your mother so that your days are prolonged upon the soil which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. You do not murder. Murder is different from killing. Okay? Murder is premeditated. Killing, people need to be killed sometimes that are wicked, nasty, and evil. Okay? These are the 10 Commandments, so take note. Verse 14, you do not commit adultery. Don't go sleeping around. Don't go fornicating. Don't go chasing hoes. Commandments of Yahweh. You do not steal. Don't go through the self-check just because you can pocket something. Come on. Don't steal. Period. You do not bear false witness against your neighbor. Alright, you get ticked off at your neighbor and you call the cops on him and you talk a bunch of trash to him. Guess what? You ain't supposed to do that. Commandment of Yahweh, don't bear false witness against your neighbor. Verse 17, you do not cover your neighbor's house. You do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor whatever belongs to your neighbor. Don't be swiping your neighbor's stuff. Verse 18, and all the people saw the thunders, the lightning flashes, and the voice of the shofar, and the mountain smoking. And the people saw it, and they trembled and stood at a distance. Excuse me. And said to Moshe, you speak with us, and we hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. So the children of Israel are claiming that they don't even want to speak to the Father because they're afraid it's going to kill them. Go ahead, Moshe, you speak to him and then let us know what he says. So that causes a division there between Yahweh and the people. All right, let's think about that. Verse 20, and Moshe said to the people, do not fear, for Elohim has come to prove you, and in order that his fear be before you, so that you do not sin. Keep the commandments. Verse 21, so the people stood at a distance, but Moshe drew near the thick darkness where Elohim was. And Yahweh said to Moshe, say this to the children of Israel, you yourselves have seen that I have spoken to you from the heavens. You do not make beside me mighty ones of silver, and you do not make mighty ones of gold for yourselves. Don't be making a bunch of idols. And a lot of things can be considered idols, gang. Your cell phone can be considered an idol if you're sitting there scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and worshiping it all day. Think about it. Make a slaughter place of earth for me, and you shall slaughter on it your ascending offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your cattle in every place where I cause my name to be remembered. I shall come to you and bless you. What is a blood sacrifice? Atonement for sin. Part of the covenant. Blood sacrifice goes along, you're agreeing to the covenant and atoning for your sin. We all do it. Verse 25, and if you make me a slaughter place of stone, do not build it of cut stone, for if you use your chisel on it, you have profaned it. So don't be cutting a bunch of stone, don't be stacking bricks, don't be doing any of that stuff. Just take a bunch of rocks, stack them up on top of yourselves, anoint it with olive oil, and then you can make your sacrifices to me, Yahweh. Verse 26, nor do you go up by steps to my slaughter place, lest your nakedness be exposed on it. So you got to figure back in them days they were wearing man dresses, and if you walk up the steps up to the slaughter place, everybody below you can see up your skirt. So Yahweh's telling them don't do that. Keep everything at ground level. We don't want nobody looking up nobody's skirts. That's all perverse garbage, and we don't want it going on. Okay. And that is chapter 20. Chapter 21. Torah, which is the law. The law of Yahweh is called Torah for righteous judgments. Okay? These are for judgments. Chapter 21. These are the right rulings which you are to set before them. When you buy a Hebrew servant, he serves 6 years, and in the 7th he goes out free for naught. Okay? Even back then, they had slaves. The Mitzraites had the children of Israel as their slaves, and they were handling debts this way. Okay? So if you owed somebody a bunch of money, then you became an indentured servant, because there ain't no way you're going to pay it back. So you just became an indentured servant to them. It's a form of slavery. Okay, so you worked for them. They were your boss then, and they owned you for 6 years. On the 7th year, he goes out free for nothing. Okay, he doesn't owe you anything after that. Verse 3, if he comes in by himself, he goes out by himself. But if he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. Okay, so if you come in by yourself, you're leaving by yourself. But if you come in and you're married, your wife goes with you also. Verse 4, if his master has given him a wife, and she has borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children are her master's, and he goes out by himself. Now, and I know that sounds really crazy, and you have to go back and remember when Jacob was with Laban, okay, back in Genesis. Jacob made a deal with Laban to have, he was trying, he ended up with Leah, but he was trying for Rachel. So the first time he worked 7 years, which is the law, they were following Torah back then. And then he worked another 7 years for Rachel. And then he worked another 7 years for the goats and for the sheep and for all the animals. Okay? But when he decided to leave, Laban was like, chased him down. And what did Laban say to him? Those are my children. Those are my daughters. You can't take them with you. And Jacob said, too bad, so sad. I'm taking them with me. So right there, they were following Torah. Even Laban was following Torah then, even though it seems like a dirty deal what he did, he was following Torah. Okay, because of a verbal coming down from Abraham, these verbal Torahs that Yahweh gave to Abraham. Okay, so it makes sense now, doesn't it? It does. It doesn't seem like it's fair, but what's fair? Yahweh makes the rules, right? Okay. Verse 5. And if the servant truly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, let me not go out free. So he's saying, dude, I want to stay. I love it here. I love my children. I love my wife. I love everything. I just want to stay here with you. Verse 6. Then his master shall bring him before Elohim, and shall bring him to the door or the doorpost, and his master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Okay? This kind of reminds me of sharecropping, where you have a slave, and the slave has a family, but then you just it's no longer really slavery, it's more of you're part of the family and everybody's working together for the farm. That's how it kind of seems to me. Okay, I might be interpreting that wrong, but that's how it seems to me. Verse 7. And when a man sells his daughter to be a female servant, she does not go out as the male servants do. They got to stick around. If she is displeasing in the eyes of her master who has engaged her to himself, then he shall let her be ransomed. He shall have no authority to sell her to a foreign people because of him deceiving her. So if he decides that he don't like her no more, he's got to send her home. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. He can't sell her for profit to somebody else. He's got to send her home. Okay? Verse 9. I know, there's a lot here. But pay attention, and I hope you're sitting there with your highlighter, and I hope you're highlighting a lot of this because these are Yah's commandments forever. Okay? Verse 9. And if he has engaged her to his son, he is to do to her as is the right of daughters. So if he got her hooked up with his son, guess what? She's part of the family now, buddy. Verse 10. If he takes another wife, her food, her covering, and her marriage rights are not to be diminished. So this is back in the day when they were taking more than one wife, okay? And Yahweh says you got to treat them as equals. You got to take care of both of them, feed them, clothe them, and love them both. Verse 11, and if he does not do these three for her, then she shall go out for naught without silver. So if he treats her like trash and doesn't make her part of the family, then she can go, laters guys, I'm out of here, but she can't take anything with her. She just goes home. Okay, verse 12. He who strikes a man so that he dies shall certainly be put to death. So if you beat up somebody and they end up dying, you're going to die too. It's just the law. Verse 13. But if he did not lie in wait, but Elohim delivered him into his hands, then I shall appoint for you a place where he is to flee. And when we get into Leviticus, you're going to understand that a lot better, because if you accidentally kill somebody, you have a city that you can flee to until there's a new high priest, and then you're free. Okay? That way the avenger of blood cannot show up and kill you, because it's their right. Okay? Verse 14. But when a man acts presumptuously against his neighbor to kill him by treachery, you are to take him even from my slaughter place to die. So if you murder somebody, if you if you think about it and you plan it all out and you fix on killing somebody and you wait and you're hiding from them and you're sneaking up on them and everything else and you kill that person, guess what? You're toast. You're done. And they can drag you off the altar and kill you. Verse 15. And he who strikes his father or his mother shall certainly be put to death. Think about how many things that you see regularly where some spoiled kid is beating up his parents or killing them. Happens a lot nowadays, doesn't it? Because Yahweh has been removed from our society. And anything goes nowadays, except for in the eyes of Elohim, who's always watching and knows everything. Verse 16. And he who kidnaps a man and sells him, or if he is found in his hand, shall certainly be put to death. That kind of looks like what happened with Joseph and his brothers, huh? There was no relationship between the children of Israel and Yahweh, but Joseph had a relationship. Verse 17. And he who curses his father or his mother shall certainly be put to death. Don't be talking trash about your mom and dad. Not good. Verse 18. And when men strive together, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die, but is confined to his bed, if he rises again, and walks about outside with his staff, then he who struck him shall be innocent. Okay? So if you ended up beating up somebody and you put them in their bed, but they ended up being okay, it's fair. He only pays for lost time and sees to it that he is completely healed. So if the guy is unable to work, guess what? You're going to have to pay for his time in bed. And you got to make sure that he's completely healed. So you better check on him every once in a while and make sure he doesn't need anything. Verse 20, and when a man strikes his male or female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall certainly be punished. But if he remains alive a day or two, he is not punished, for he is his property. So if you get chapped as a slave, and you beat them with the rod, and they die a couple of days down the road, you're okay. If you kill them immediately, you're done too. Verse 22, and when men strive, and they shall smite a pregnant woman, and her children come out, yet there is no injury, he shall certainly be punished according as the woman's husband lays upon him, and he shall give through the judges. So if some guy's walking down the street and he sees a pregnant woman and he just hauls off and hits her, if the baby comes out and it's not harmed, then the husband gets to decide how much this guy owes them, okay, according to the judges. So it's a legal thing. Verse 23, but if there is injury, then you shall give life for a life. So if some guy strikes your wife and she's pregnant and he kills the baby or the mother, he's done. He's toast. Take him outside the gates, stone him till he's dead. Verse 24, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, lash for lash. These are the laws for retaliation. Okay? That's what they're called. They're called laws for retaliation. Verse 26, and when a man strikes the eye of his male or female servant and destroys it, he is to let him go free for the sake of his eye. So if somebody smacks his slave and puts his eye out, they get to go free. It don't matter. He goes free. Bye-bye. 27. And if he knocks out the tooth of his male or female servant, he is to let him go free for the sake of the tooth. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. See how that works. Verse 28. And when an ox gores a man or a woman to death, then the ox shall certainly be stoned, and its flesh is not eaten. And the owner of the ox is innocent. So if you've got an ox, if you've got an animal, and it just all of a sudden goes off and sticks its horns through somebody and kills them, the animal is to be put down, dead. And you ain't going to eat it. You're going to bury it. You're going to burn it and bury it. Okay? But the owner of the animal is innocent. Verse 29. However, if the ox was previously in the habit of goring, and its owner has been warned, and he has not kept it confined, so that it has killed a man or a woman, the ox is stoned, and its owner also is put to death. So if you know you got a vicious animal and you don't do nothing about it, and it continues to be a vicious animal and kills somebody, guess what? You and the animal are toast, because you didn't do anything about it. You're liable with your life. Verse 30. If a sin covering is laid upon him, then he shall give the ransom of his life, whatever is laid on him, just like I just explained. Verse 31. Whether it has gored a son or gored a daughter, according to this right ruling, it is done to him. So if your animal gores somebody, the same thing comes on you. They're going to send a bull and gore you. Wow. Okay. Verse 32. If the ox gores a male or female servant, he is to give to their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox is stoned. So, if you have an ox or an animal that's dangerous, and somebody's servant gets mixed up with that animal and the animal gores them and kills them, then you owe 30, the person who owns the animal owes 30 pieces of silver, shekels of silver, and the ox is stoned, okay? Now, let's think about that. A human life, if this happens, is worth 30 shekels. What did the Pharisees pay for Yehoshua's life? Judas Iscariot got 30 shekels of silver. Reoccurring. Interesting, huh? Verse 33, and when a man opens a pit, or if a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls in it, the owner of the pit is to repay. He is to give silver to their owner, and the dead beast is his. So if you dig a hole and an animal falls in it, you got to pay for that animal, but you get to keep it at least. So at least you got dinner out of the deal. Verse 35, and when the ox of a man smites the ox of his neighbor, and it dies, then they shall sell the live ox, and divide the silver from it, and also divide the dead ox. So if your animal attacks somebody else's animal and kills it, then you got to take the animal that's alive and sell it, and you split the money and divide the dead animal. So, nobody loses on that deal, really. If you sell the animal and split the money and then split the dead one, that's kind of a win-win situation there. Verse 36, or if it was known that the ox was previously in the habit of goring, and its owner had not kept it confined, he shall certainly repay ox for ox, while the dead beast is his. Okay, so if you know you got an animal that's dangerous and you don't do nothing about it, and it kills somebody else's animal, then you pay for the ox out of your own pocket. You pay for it. And the dead beast is the other person's. They get something for dinner. You're out. You're out. Because you knew you had a dangerous animal and you didn't do nothing about it. Okay? All right. The laws of Yahweh, the commandments of Yahweh. I know that some of them seem like they're kind of unfair, but this is our Elohim we are speaking about. This is the creator of the sun, the moon, the stars, the firmament, and everything underneath it. The creator of the whole universe. And we are a product of him. He created all of us. So these are his laws. And we should be abiding by them. We shouldn't be having all of these stupid man's laws. Our courts are so corrupt. Everything is so corrupt. There's no justice in our society at all. If we were to follow these, then there would be justice in our society. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, da-da-da-da-da. Okay? You can see how all of this works. How Yahweh's laws are perfect in every way. No matter what the society thinks, our society kind of frowns on having more than one wife, but Yahweh seems like he's okay with that as long as you treat him the same. Okay? Polygamy seems like it's not a big deal to Yahweh, but you got to treat them all the same, and you got to take care of them. How many of you guys out there could take care of more than one wife and a mess of kids? Seriously, let's think about it. Okay? So it's probably better to only have one wife. Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of tonight's Bible study. We have made it through chapter 21, and on Shabbat we'll pick up at chapter 22. So I hope everybody is understanding all of this. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. My email is in the channel underneath underneath the channel name is my email. Write me an email if you don't want to be public. If you don't care, put it in the comments and I will answer your questions. If anyone has any questions about any of these studies, send me an email. You don't have to be public. I'm not going to make it public, but I'll answer your question. And I don't care if it's a personal question or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll explain myself, whatever. Okay, and I'll explain Yah's word if I know. If not, I'll find out for you from who I learned from. Okay? Because, yeah, I'm always learning too. Always. I am not a preacher. I am not a teacher. Although one of these days, maybe Yahweh will make me one. I'm a guy that reads the Bible. And I do what it says to the best of my broken ability because I am not perfect by any means, as is you. We're all messed up. We're all broken. And the further away from our Elohim that we are, the further away from our Messiah that we are, the worse off we are. It's just a horrible, horrible thing. And we need to learn. We need to learn Yahweh's word. What is Yahweh's word? Yahweh's word, the word, is Messiah. Okay? We went over all of that, Genesis 1:1. If you don't have an understanding or you just found this video for the first time, you need, for your own learning, to go back to Genesis 1:1 and start there. So many people are deceived by these pastors that say the Old Testament doesn't matter. Only the New Testament matters, and that is wrong. That is a deception. It's all the same. All of it's the same. The original covenant and what they call the new covenant are the same covenant. Yehoshua, lived the Torah perfectly, without blemish. He was the sacrificial lamb without blemish, which means he lived the law. He is the law. Okay? He's the Word. The Word's the law. He didn't end the original covenant. He reestablished it and brought the Gentiles in, paved a road for us to seek our redemption. Okay? To seek it. Nothing is a given. Nothing is a guaranteed. It's up to us. Yehoshua paved the road. Now we got to follow it. And that includes following Torah. Okay? When it says forever, it means forever. And we have gotten away from all that because these teachers are not teaching correctly. I know so many people are going to disagree with me on that. Here is a reference for you. Well, actually, let's read it, okay? Go ahead, flip your Bible to Hebrews chapter 8, okay? Here we go. Hebrews chapter 8. Now the summary of what we are saying is, we have such a high priest who is seated at the right hand of the throne of greatness in the heavens. Yehoshua is seated at the right hand of Yahweh the Father. Okay? Hang on a second. Let me flip the page. And who serves in the set-apart place, and of the true tent, which Yahweh set up, and not man. Yahweh built the church, not man. Yehoshua established the Gentile church, not man, and not the Roman Catholic Church. Constantine did not establish Yehoshua's church. Yehoshua did. For every high priest is appointed to offer both gifts and slaughters. So it was also necessary for this one to have somewhat to offer, Yehoshua, this one. For if indeed he were on earth, he would not be a priest, since there are priests who offer the gifts according to the Torah, who serve a copy and shadow of the heavenly, as Moshe was warned when he was about to make the first tent. For he said, Yahweh said, see that you make all according to the pattern shown you on the mountain, when Yahweh set out the dimensions for the tent of appointment. Verse 6. Excuse me. But now he has obtained a more excellent service, inasmuch as he is also mediator. Yehoshua is the go-between between us and Yahweh. Okay, he's your defense attorney on Judgment Day, where Yahweh says, oh man, this guy is, are you kidding? And Yehoshua says, no, wait a minute, Dad. Let me show you some things about this guy. He's not as bad as you think, okay? He's our mediator. He's our go-between. He is also mediator of a better covenant, which was constituted on better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then no place would have been sought for a second. Okay? For finding fault with them, he says, see, the days are coming, says Yahweh, when I shall conclude with the house of Yisrael and with the house of Judah, because the two houses were split. Yisrael were the northern 10 tribes. Judah was in Jerusalem. Okay? A renewed covenant. It says right here, renewed covenant. Not a new covenant, a renewed covenant. Verse 9. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mitzrayim, because they did not continue in my covenant, and I disregarded them. Okay, they didn't follow the original covenant, so Yahweh flicked them like a booger. Sorry, that's kind of gross, but... Okay, verse 10. Because this is the covenant that I shall make with the house of Yisrael after those days, says Yahweh, giving my law in their mind, and I shall write them on their hearts, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall by no means teach each other one his neighbor, and each one his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, because they all shall know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, including the Gentiles, all of us. Verse 12, because I shall forgive their unrighteousness and their sins and their lawlessness, I shall no longer remember. By saying renewed, he has made the first old. Now what becomes old and growing, aged, is near disappearing. Okay? So that gives you an explanation. Covenants are not old and new. They don't run out. They're stacked. Got the old one didn't work out so well, so we're going to take that old covenant and renew it, reestablish it, through the blood of Messiah, through the atoning sacrifice of Messiah, and he has brought the Gentiles into the tree of life. Thus, the Gentiles are the tribe of Ephraim. Okay? We haven't gotten that far yet, but we will. This is something that's very important, because so many people don't think that the original, the Old Testament, is in effect anymore, and it is. The Torah is still in effect. It's just been renewed through the blood of Messiah. get it. It drives me crazy because 54,000 denominations of Christendom, and they get it wrong. They don't get it. They think that it's a renewed covenant. So all of these things that Yahweh established with the children of Israel, even though he said it's forever, and Yahweh doesn't lie, they just, oh, well, it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, we don't need to follow any of that stuff. Who needs to follow Torah? Sabbath? Yeah, whatever. I go to church once a week. I don't read my Bible. I'm okay with it. I go to church once a week. It's all good. The pastor makes me feel really good, and they got really good music, and they got good donuts and coffee, and you're going for the wrong reasons. The Sabbath is Saturday. It's not Sunday. Sunday is Sun Worshipper Day, established by the Catholic Church through Jupiter, which was a Roman god. Please, I beg of you, do some research. Research what I'm telling you. Don't just believe it. Research it for yourself. Eyes to see and ears to hear. These are important things. These are important things from our Elohim, our Creator. These are His laws, His commandments that He commanded Moshe for the children of Israel. Which, guess what? We're now part of that. We are part of the children of Israel, grafted into the tree of life through the atoning blood sacrifice of Yehoshua Messiah, the Hamashiach, the Christ. Okay? That's where the Jews fall off the edge, is because they don't believe in Messiah. They think that Messiah hasn't come yet. But if you research the Jews, which are not the children of Israel, they're but one tribe of Judah, maybe. If you research them, you're going to see that they don't even follow the original covenant. They follow the Talmud, which was written in Babylon while they were in captivity by the Pharisees. Yeah, the ones that Yehoshua was arguing with because they weren't following Torah. They had their own doctrines and dogmas. Do the research, gang. Do it for yourself. This is for your learning. This is for your salvation. Okay? All right. I'm not going to preach at you anymore tonight, gang. I know a lot of people I'm going to turn off, and I know a lot of people are going to turn me off. But this is the truth. I am not lying to you. I read the Bible and do it to the best of my broken ability because I'm no better than you are. I am not. I am Brother Chris. I am not Pastor Chris. I am Brother Chris. I'm on the same level as you. We're all the same. But we need to seek. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it shall be revealed. And it will be. It will be. And you will feel so much better about what this is all about and about what we're supposed to be doing. And you're going to wonder to yourself and you're going to feel it in your heart. You're going to hurt in your heart because all these years you've been listening to this pastor that's lost. Lost. All right, gang. That's all I've got for you tonight. I hope y'all got something out of this, and I hope y'all just didn't shut me off. I love each and every one of you as my brothers and sisters in the blood of Yehoshua, and I'm not deceiving you. Y'all have a good week, and I will talk to anybody who's still here. I'll see you on Shabbat. All right? All right. Shalom.